The quickest way to frustrating yourself and your kids is to be scheduling out minute to minute exactly what you're going to be doing, because let's face it, it's just never going to happen the way we plan it to. Today we're going to be talking about how to create a different kind of homeschool routine that can truly help your family to thrive rather than just survive. Hi guys, my name is Erin. This is the third video in my planning series where I talk about stress-free homeschool planning. The first video we talked about how to create a yearly calendar for your homeschool in a really easy way. And last time we talked about creating a weekly schedule, figuring out what subjects we want to do on which days to create a purposeful homeschool environment. Now today we're going to be talking about turning that weekly plan into a daily routine that's going to help our family to thrive and really be able to focus on the things that are most important to us and our family. When I first started homeschooling my oldest child 9 years ago, I set up this traditional school schedule where I had every subject blocked out for 30 to 45 minute increments all throughout the day until I got through the 8 or 9 subjects that I actually had curriculum for kindergarten. As I jumped into that teacher role, things kind of started falling rapidly out of place as I also had a toddler and a preschooler in tow while we were trying to make all of this work. This led to me constantly feeling like a failure because I never measured up to these ridiculous standards that I had put into place for myself. Now, a lot of us jump into homeschooling and we do what I just talked about, kind of recreating that school system at home because that's all we know. And we don't want to mess things up. Can you relate to any of this? But as we go about homeschooling and get more into the years and figuring out how things work for our families, we tend to relax a little bit and kind of move away from that really strict schedule that can tend to be a taskmaster just cracking that whip telling us what we need to do when. we tend to shy away from that and start moving more towards a more relaxed and more freedom-filled homeschool routine that really fits learning into our own lives. When we are so focused on that strict schedule and getting everything done that needs to be done, we can tend to sacrifice the relationships in the process rather than meeting the needs of our kids. The reality is, when our kids leave their house, they are going to remember that you paused the schedule to take time to feed into what they truly needed at their heart level when they were struggling, or they just wanted to share something that they learned that was exciting, or they really dove into something that interested them, because that is going to be the thing that lasts your children's lifetime. Not just the facts that they regurgitated for a test, but how you made them feel. Having that flexible routine rather than a strict schedule can really then help us to focus on our family and our relationships over and above textbooks and schedules. I think it can be super helpful if we can figure out a way to balance our freedom with the understanding and the knowledge that kids do thrive on having some structure. So it is important to kind of have a system where we do have a regular routine or flow throughout our day, because that really creates this sense of safety and security for our kids, especially to know what they can kind of expect is going to be happening next throughout the day. And that helps them then to be able to move into being more independent in their homeschooling, which is the goal, right? We want our kids to become self-educated and self-motivated, because that is a skill that is going to be able to take them far in life once they leave our home. This is where a routine or a rhythm can really come in and save the day, because that allows us some structure without being a taskmaster. If a strict schedule is what helps keep you focused and on task, and your kids are actually thriving under that routine, do it. By all means, continue doing things that way. But if you find yourself like I did, where that became just a burden and something that caused more stress within our family, then let's talk a little bit more about creating a purposeful homeschool routine. This is not a magical formula at all by any means. This is just what I have used that works in our family, and I hope it blesses you as well. For this planning phase, you're gonna need that weekly schedule list that we came up with in my last video. So if you missed that one, pause this one now. There will be a link to it in the description below as well as right here. It is really important to have that in place before we move on so that you know what we're going to be working with to begin with. I personally prefer to use a block schedule kind of system for our homeschool day. In essence, block scheduling allows us to create time blocks throughout our day where we're doing our normal daily life things, as well as being able to then fit in times when we are focused on doing educational pursuits. With block scheduling, the concept is that during that particular time block, you are only working on the subjects within that block. This gives you a little bit of flexibility. If some lessons take longer than usual on some days, you can just naturally roll into the next subject without feeling like you are playing catch up to that timetable, as well as it allows you to kind of bounce back and forth between your kids if you have certain subjects that maybe are a little bit more teacher intensive and they need a little bit of extra attention. The main thing to keep in mind with this type of routine or schedule is that things come up in life and it doesn't fit into this neatly organized system as much as we would like it to be, am I right? All of this stuff is meant to be flexible and can change, and you can make modifications as you go. Your schedule is really just meant to be a guide to help give you some structure and allow you to know what is going to be coming up next. Okay, so the first thing that I do is to make a timetable. This is where I do find it is especially helpful to do this in a spreadsheet or on Canva or somewhere where you can copy and paste these time blocks into different positions as you're trying to make adjustments and make it all work together. Or you can use a printed out timetable like this. This particular one is available on my website. So you're going to have the days listed across the top of your spreadsheet, and then I fill in the time in 1 hour blocks going down the side so I can kind of play with the times and figure out all of the different subjects that I'm going to fit where. Later on, I'll make some adjustments to this as I get our final schedule worked out. The best sort of homeschool routine is where we are plugging in our learning time, our educational pursuits within our normal daily life. So the first thing that you're going to do as you start to block out times is to block out your non-school times. You want to really plan your whole homeschool day around those non-school things that are already part of your normal daily life, like meal times or chore time, family time, all of those things. So go ahead and block out the times when you are not going to be doing school. Then the next thing that you want to put into place is your extracurricular activities, your things that are happening outside of your home that you are already committed to. Your things like co-op or classes or even online lessons, or things where you can't be doing your normal school routine in your house. Now, if you're really wanting to create that truly purposeful homeschool, this is where I'm going to ask you to get outside of that traditional school mindset for a minute, if you will. You're going to want to block out your non-traditional school subjects next. Things that you had identified previously that are of top value, that are most important to your family, that you want to make sure that you are instilling these things in your kids as you are going about life together. Block those out first. And the reason it's important to do this is because these are the things that tend to get pushed to the back burner or forgotten about when we get back in that mental mode where we are like so focused on getting all of our reading, writing, math, spelling, grammar, all of the curriculum things done. We will forget about these because it's hard to fit all of those things in if we don't plan for them first. These are things like Bible study or devotions, scripture memory, life skills. Some of these things are also things like free play time or outdoor time for your kids. You could count this as PE class if that helps you out for that mindset in scheduling that time outdoors or that free play time. Plan those things out first as non-negotiables in your homeschool. So then the next thing I like to block out is our morning time or our group subject time where we are doing school together. I have blocked out about an hour and a half for us to do our group subject time where our kids have their snacks and we do our morning time loop schedule. That is just what works for us, but a lot of people will start out with their group subjects first thing in the day, or they might even do that later in the evening or something like that. But block out that time if you are planning on doing some group subject time. That's easy to kind of just plug across the board because all of your kids are going to be actively engaged together during this time. After I have all of this in place, I plug in my core subject block. The core subject block is where we focus on those core subjects, the language arts, math. Those things are the top priority that generally are done every single day in some shape or form in our homeschool. And I like to have that blocked out for our family early on in the morning. Those are the things that I know that if our plans go off of the rails, something comes up later in the day, at least we have gotten our core subjects done. Then I'm not going to feel stressed out about missing some of the other supplemental activities or lessons that we might have planned for later on in the day. A tip here is that it can be really helpful to make sure that as you're planning your lessons throughout the day, to not focus so much on like really heavy brain work back to back to back. It is really helpful for your kids to be able to rotate between different types of activities. Like if you're doing math, which really does require a lot of brain effort, and then the next subject, maybe they're working on piano or something that's a more creative type of subject, or reading, something that's a little, if reading is easy for your child, that free reading type of thing. That can really benefit them greatly as they allow their brains to kind of switch back and forth between different types of tasks throughout the day. And the next block that goes in is this secondary subject block. These are things that are maybe some more of their independent subjects, or things that aren't as critical to make sure that they happen every day. Things like science or history or music lessons, art, music, handcrafts, things that we do definitely want to incorporate on a very regular basis, but aren't as critical to maybe getting done every single day. Some of these are subjects that you can do as a loop schedule, so you can just write maybe a loop schedule if that's something that you're going to be putting into place in your homeschool within that time block that you want to dedicate to that. So after you have those kind of initially plugged into place, go ahead and shift things as necessary. You want to be kind of looking back on your chart from last week as well, where you had indicated how much time you're estimating some of these things to take place, so you can make sure that you're fitting them into appropriate time slots that are available to you. And this is something that is learned through experience as well. As you go about your homeschool journey, you can tend to then see about how long each of these types of lessons are going to take, and then you can make changes and shift things as necessary. And again, remember, none of these things are set in stone. This is just a guide to get you started. And then as you figure out your own personal flow and routine and what works for your family, you can make changes as needed, which ties into the next step is to plan margin and expect that changes are going to happen. Say you have 4 1-hour blocks that you have planned that you can do schoolwork, because that's what fits around the other things happening in your family. You don't want to plan 4 hours worth of work to fit into those 4-hour blocks, because I guarantee there's going to be distractions or frustrations or meltdowns or things that just don't go according to plan. So it is important for you to plan in a little buffer, give yourself some margin to each of those time blocks. It is perfectly okay, and I would say even better, to have more free time available to your kids because they completed their tasks ahead of time, than it is to be feeling like you have to just like crack that whip to get everything done in your time allotted block. The quickest way to frustrating yourself and your kids is to scheduling out minute to minute exactly what you're going to be doing, because let's face it, it's just never gonna happen the way we plan it to, and that it's okay. That's part of life. That's part of homeschooling, is learning to do life together and learning how to adjust when changes need to happen, and give yourself grace in this area. Once you have your schedule all filled out, you can just leave it like this, or I really like to make it pretty. So I created this template on Canva and filled in all of the time blocks, and then I color coded it so I can differentiate between the different time blocks and quickly and easily look at it and see where we're at during the day. And then I like to laminate it and stick it up on the side of the fridge so that the kids can also see what's coming up next. And then if I find them not working on things like they're supposed to be doing, I can have them go check and see what it is that they're supposed to be doing during that particular time block. So it kind of helps them become a little bit more independent as well. If you want a little bit more detailed explanation of how block scheduling works, make sure you click on this video here. That will give you a little bit more of a rundown about how to put all of this together. If this video was helpful for you, please hit that like button below and share this out with anyone else you think might find it valuable. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.